After the accident,
I was stuck paying all these medical bills.
The Witherspoon Law Group understands that you didn't deserve what happened to you, but you do deserve justice.
They weren't just there for me, they fought for me.
I care about what my clients are going through. We are in the fight of their lives.
We don't just fight for you, we fight with you and make sure you get the compensation you deserve.
And that's why we do what we do. And what we do is win.
Call 844-WE-WIN-44.
Hey, good evening and welcome to this edition of Shani Scott on Air on Media Room 360. And the hot topic for today, we just gonna jump right into it, is Kanye West and these comments that he made on Drink Champs with Nuru. Now, yesterday we got a 10-minute apology from Nuru, apologizing for the things that Kanye said pertaining to George Floyd's death on Drink Champs, and Nuru not approaching Kanye or correcting what was said at the time. Well, since then, a lawsuit has ensued, and today we found out that a $250 million lawsuit has been put in place by George Floyd's daughter against Kanye West. And with me today, I have the lawyers from the Witherspoon Law Group, Nuru Witherspoon and attorney Kay Harper Williams, and we're going to discuss some of the case, what we can talk about of the case. How are you guys doing today? Doing well. How are you? Thank you for having us on. You are more than welcome. Well, it looks like the law firm is going to get an extra $250 million. Is that what's about to happen?
Well, you know, we hope George Floyd's daughter and his estate gets everything that they deserve.
Okay, well, let's get right into it. What actually initiated this lawsuit?
Well, so what started this who started it is Kanye West, right? He went on Drink Champs, as you mentioned, and made these vile, incendiary comments that are absolutely false, have been proven to be false in two courts of law regarding Mr. Floyd's cause of death. And it is something that is hurtful, damaging to both Mr. Floyd's estate and to his family, particularly his daughter, Gianna, who's a young child. So we are here on Gianna's behalf, on behalf of the culture, on behalf of everybody who supported the movement, everybody who felt the horror, right, who experienced that 9 minutes as a community, as a global community, and who marched and stood with and stood for George Floyd and the greater global community. So we're here on behalf of all those people to ensure that Kanye West and other celebrities understand that there are consequences to our words.
Okay. Now, exactly what did Kanye say that was untrue on Drink Champs?
Well, he talked about Mr. Floyd's cause of death being the result of drugs and not the officer's conduct, particularly, is what is most inflammatory, I would say.
Now, is it true that there were drugs in the system of George Floyd? Where did he get that fentanyl was the cause of death?
It's our understanding that some of this came, his information came from a documentary or film that was produced by or released by Candace Owens. So, and as you know, they've recently worn the White Lives Matter shirts, right? And Kanye is also, best we know, according to reports, he is in the process of purchasing a conservative social media platform called Parler. And the owner or CEO is the spouse of Candace Owens. So this is all very calculated. And we believe that Kanye West, his business partners, used George Floyd's name and used these statements to ultimately generate a financial benefit for them.
Okay. Now, is it just from the documentary? Because at the time when we went through the trial for George Floyd, the medical examiner did state that there was a large amount of fentanyl in his system. So is it possible that these statements came based on what the medical examiner said at the time?
Well, so to be clear, the statement that Kanye West made was a lie, right? George Floyd was murdered by police officers. You know, the world watched the video, and it doesn't matter, you know, you're black, you're white. I mean, every sane person that looked at that video, we saw him murdered. And the medical examiner stated what the cause of death was. And for Kanye West to come back and say that the cause of death was something different is not only a lie, but it's damaging to Floyd's estate, his legacy. And so, you know, we here at the Witherspoon Law Group, I mean, we're here to protect Mr. Floyd, Mr. Floyd's daughter, and we're not going to tolerate the disrespect, Ms. Scott. We just not going for it.
Right. Now, you mentioned that George Floyd's daughter is 8 years old. So who exactly initiated the lawsuit? Who's actually suing?
So her mother, we're acting on behalf of, obviously, as a minor, she cannot enter in any sort of legal agreements, but her mother is acting on her behalf and in her best interest. So her mother hired us. Okay.
Now, back in 2020, when this was all going on, it was reported that Kanye donated $2 million to George Floyd's daughter's college, which college is a ways off. But with him donating $2 million at that time, why has the family decided that they want to go back after him for another $250 million?
Well, we don't have that confirmed. So we can't today, as we sit here, say one way or the other whether or not Gianna Floyd is in receipt of any funds from Mr. West. But we're happy to get that detail confirmed for you one way or the other. But, you know, she's a small child, so I can guarantee you that she is not in possession of those funds. And we don't believe that our client is either.
Now, with this lawsuit stemming, are there any other pending lawsuits? Does the family plan to go after Nuru and Drink Champs?
Well, we have not evaluated the extent or who the actual defendants will be in the lawsuit beyond Mr. West. So we're in that process right now. We have to do our due diligence and make sure that we evaluate all statements from all angles and do what is in our client's best interest in order to protect her, Mr. Floyd's legacy and his estate.
Did the family accept Nuru from Drink Champs' apology that he gave on the Breakfast Club Monday morning?
You know, to try to really, you know, help everyone, you know, understand what the family is going through. You know, when I just brought up the video, I want to talk about how traumatizing, you know, that was for the people watching it. You know, when we watched the video, we really could not believe our own eyes that this was actually happening. And so you can only imagine, you know, if that was somebody that you love, if that was, you know, your family member. And so they are still dealing with the trauma, you know, of their loved one being murdered. And, you know, not only that, this, you know, just to kind of frame this, you know, when people ask, you know, do they accept an apology? I mean, they're not even in a mindset to really appreciate, you know, all the dynamics of what's going on. They're just hurt. You get what I'm saying? They're just hurt. You know, they're hurt because they're being re-traumatized, and they're being re-traumatized for profit. Okay, and that's so hurtful. And, you know, earlier when you talked about the 2 million, or, you know, we don't know if that was done for the right reasons. Maybe that was done, you know, just to elevate his status or to promote himself, you know, just like, you know, these statements, you know, in our opinion, you know, they're being done to promote himself, his brands, these documentaries, and it's diminishing the estate, and it's very hurtful.
Right. And truth be told, $250 million does not bring back her dad, their brother, their son, uncle, brother. So how did they come to the number of $250 million?
I'll talk about the value of George Floyd's estate. In our estimation, we believe because George Floyd is a worldwide icon, he represents social injustice. Some of the things when he yelled out, "Mama," all these things. I mean, that has a value. The movie rights. I mean, so there are a lot of intellectual property rights that are tied to the estate. You can't use George Floyd's name without permission from his family. You can't do documentaries. You can't do any of this stuff. So if you're profiting by using his name, if you're trying to elevate yourself, well, you have to pay for that. Shani, there's an interesting, conversation going on in the country right now. And we're talking about protecting George Floyd's daughter. But, part of the conversation too, like we're protecting the culture as well. We're not going to stand for people that just say things that are illegal, because again, the conversation around free speech, yes, we all as Americans have the right to free speech. However, we do not have the right to damage people's reputation, right? We don't have the right to say things that incite violence. We don't have the right to do that. So at the end of the day, we're talking about someone that broke the law. And that's what we hear as lawyers, we're enforcing the law. And so the number $250 million, it is a signal to Mr. West or to anybody else. You're gonna put some respect, on Mr. Floyd's estate. You're gonna put some respect on his daughter, his family. That's what you're gonna do.
Well, there you have it. And it's amazing that you say that we're gonna put some respect on his name, because one thing that Nuri kept repeating in his apology was he didn't want it to turn into a Birdman, and it has officially turned into a Birdman. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come on the platform and speak with us about this and answer questions. Know that you always have a home here if you want to come on and speak about any of the other cases that you are representing. And real quick, while we have you here, if there is someone watching that has been involved in an accident, they have an injury, they need to seek counsel on, how do they contact Witherspoon Law Group?
Well, right there at Witherspoon We Win, our information is there. We have it behind us. And Ms. Scott, I want to ask everybody that's listening to go and do something for us. If you support, what we're doing, if you think what Kanye West said is wrong, I want everybody to do this for us. I want them to go to our website. I want them to, write positive reviews. And the reason I want people to do that, Ms. Scott, is because all of these people that support hate speech, all of these people that support Kanye and the White Lives Matter, and him damaging George Floyd's name or lying about George Floyd, we want these people to come and show support for what we're doing, because these hate speech folks, I mean, they're out there and they are they're making all these posts about us as a law firm. And think about that. I mean, we're attorneys, so you can only imagine how they've been treating the Floyd family.
All right. Make sure you guys follow the Witherspoon Group today at Witherspoon We Win. It's there at Witherspoon We Win. Thank you guys again for coming on. And if you have any questions or you would like to contact them, stay close. I have some information for you now.
After the accident,
I was stuck paying all these medical bills.
The Witherspoon Law Group understands that you didn't deserve what happened to you, but you do deserve justice.
They weren't just there for me, they fought for me.
I care about what my clients are going through. We are in the fight of their lives.
We don't just fight for you, we fight with you and make sure you get the compensation you deserve.
And that's why we do what we do. And what we do is win.
Call 844-WE-WIN-44.